It had been rumored. We weren't sure if it was true. We saw the demolition notices. We saw the deterioration of the place, but we just weren't sure. We heard there was a case in court. We heard there were going to be alternative plans. We heard quite a lot. But on Saturday, the 3rd of June, 2023, the demolition man came into town again, and the very popular 30-year-old UTC complex was demolished. Shop owners stood in awe. Many of them claim they had no idea this was going to happen. The FCTA authorities and the Abuja Investment Company Limited begged to differ. We'll get to the root of this issue and the matters arising in our interview segment. For our focus on the FCT, we bring you the details of the UTC demolition in Area 10. And in our Abuja Wrap, we update you on all the happenings in Nigeria's presidency over the past week. This is Dateline Abuja. Hello and welcome to Dateline Abuja. I am Kayla Megwa. Let's kick off with our Abuja Wrap. A look at the major stories this week from Nigeria's seat of power.
President Bola Tinubu has tasked security and intelligence agencies in the country on the importance of information and intelligence sharing to obliterate counterproductivity of resources in the fight against terrorism. Highlighting the importance of backing their efforts with knowledge, he underscores that in order to achieve economic revival, prosperity and development, security should be of utmost priority. The president, who conducted a tour around the National Counterterrorism Center, led by the National Security Advisor, retired General Babagana Monguno, assures that Nigeria is on the path to success and there should be no hoarding of information or intelligence, as advancing security is a priority for his administration.
We must focus on one tunnel, coordinate shared information, shared intelligence, coordinate and work harder. Then you cannot hoard those information. You cannot hoard the intelligence.
President Bola Tinubu has been meeting with governors of the main opposition party, People's Democratic Party, including the G5 governors and that of Enugu and Akwa Ibom states. Governor Peter Mbah of Enugu State opened conversations with the president on the release of the self-acclaimed leader of IPOB, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, requesting the president to give the matter utmost consideration to begin the process of national healing and extend a hand of fellowship to the Southeast people. Meanwhile, Governor Seyi Makinde of Oyo State disclosed that the G5, otherwise known as Integrity Group, visited President Tinubu to apprise him of the latest happenings and the group's stance on fairness, equity and justice in the country.
We have to keep seeing the president, to let him know what is happening. And for this evening, the G5, the Integrity Group, we also came to let the president know what we stood for: fairness, justice, and equity. And we haven't changed.
President Bola Tinubu has tasked lawmakers to put the nation first and downplay party politics in the discharge of their duties as he extended a hand of fellowship to the lawmakers. He also called on the lawmakers to work together to choose good leaders in the 10th National Assembly. The Chief of Staff to the President, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, conveyed the message of the President at a joint session of the National Assembly comprising senators and members of the House of Representatives across all parties at the State House Conference Center. The meeting, which comes ahead of the 10th National Assembly inauguration on June 13, was closed to the media.
I served as a speaker for 4 years. From inception, I myself blurred political lines, and we governed, or we administered the House of Representatives with the motto from day one that nation building is a joint task. And it's that same motto that Mr. President is extending his hand of fellowship to all members, APC, PDP, Labour, APGA, SDP, name it. We're a coat of many colors. And what Mr. President seeks to do is to stitch those colors together into one big fabric that will, to the benefit of Nigerians who we represent.
President Bola Tinubu has sworn in Senator George Akume as the new secretary to the government of the Federation at the council chamber. Senator George Akume, in the brief ceremony which had dignitaries including some serving and former governors of Plateau, Kebbi and Ebonyi states, took his oath of allegiance and oath of office. Meanwhile, the President Bola Tinubu held his maiden meeting with the Nigeria Governors Forum at the State House.
I assure Nigerians I will do my best. I will not disappoint the President. I will not disappoint this country. I will not disappoint my party. I believe Nigerians will find fulfillment in my responsibilities as I discharge them in their own interest.
The House of Representatives held a valedictory session to mark the end of the 9th House. Lawmakers were emotional as they spoke about working together in the past 4 years. A new assembly is expected to be inaugurated on the 13th of June. The Senate has approved the request of President Bola Tinubu to appoint 20 special advisors. The approval came during Tuesday's plenary after the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read a letter from the President requesting the upper legislative chamber's approval to appoint the aides. Senate Leader Senator Ibrahim Gubira moved the motion for the Senate to consider the request, and the Senate Minority Leader seconded it. Following a thorough review of President Tinubu's proposal, the Senate voted in favor of the appointment of 20 special advisors. It will be recalled that the Senate had approved 15 special advisors, more than his predecessor, former President Muhammadu Buhari, in 2015 and in 2019. Section 151, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution empowers the National Assembly to prescribe by law or resolution the number of such advisors and their remuneration and allowances.
We feel that this is something that is of utmost urgency. He wants to appoint his advisors, but he needs our approval here. And therefore, we should do that for him to be able to probably today or tomorrow announce his appointees, special advisors. So those in favor of the motion moved by the Senate leader and seconded by the by the minority leader, that the Senate approves the request of Mr. President C&C for his request on the 20 special advisors. Say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
The National Assembly has passed a bill to make comprehensive provisions for the prohibition and punishment of sexual harassment by educators in tertiary institutions. The Senate passed the bill in 2020, while the House of Representatives passed a different version. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Judiciary, Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, of both chambers, has harmonized the different positions, and he presented the reports during Wednesday's plenary session. The proposed legislation seeks to criminalize sexual harassment by educators against students in tertiary institutions. The National Assembly has also passed a legislation to make compulsory the inclusion of preventive measures against sexual and gender-based violence in the curriculum of all levels of secondary education in the country.
The Conference Committee considered both versions of the bills and made observations with respect to the difference in the long title as shown in the table. The committee resolved the areas of conflict and recommends resolutions for adoption by the respective chambers. In summary, the Conference Committee adopted the relevant provisions as shown below on each of the clauses of the bill under consideration, and the Senate version was adopted, which is to read for the long title as a bill for an act to make comprehensive provisions for the prohibition and punishment of sexual harassment of students by educators and other persons in and out of tertiary educational institutions and for related matters.
Welcome back. This week, we're focused on the demolition of the United Trading Company, or UTC Complex, at Area 10 in Garki, Abuja. The place has been a printing hub in the nation's capital for over 30 years. In that time, we saw a serious deterioration of the structures housing about 480 businesses. Makeshift shops sprung up within and outside its environs. Parking spaces were almost non-existent, and a visible rise in criminal activity within and outside the complex was evident. None of this can be denied. However, what plans were in place for the shop owners after the demolition? Were adequate notices given to them to move? And what's next for these 480 businesses? Please watch this. This is what remains of the popular UTC printing press market in the nation's capital, Abuja. The traders are not allowed to move beyond this fenced area. They watch helplessly as officials of the Federal Capital Development Agency reduce the shops to rubble.
The case has been in court for almost 3 years. We've been going front and back on the matter. But I believe if there should be any notice, it should be written. They have ways of communicating to us. A memo was still shared informing us to pay our service charge. Yesterday, you can ask others trader. I don't know, but the thing is, I can't say for others, but me, I'm a shop operator here. I have 2 shops that I operate here. There was no notice.
We asked the officials of the Federal Capital Development Agency for the reasons behind the action and why the traders appear to have been taken unawares.
The ownership of this particular business premises reside with Abuja Investment and Company Limited. They own this space. They own the structures. They are the landlords. And over time, these structures are, weathered down by time, and they are structurally defective now. As a matter of time, for the past 2 years, they have been on this. And what we are doing is not total. Special removal we are doing. They can still come back and recover their wares.
We have incidences of forgery of sensitive security documents by touts. And when you go around this environment, you notice that these touts go around to do whatever they want to do. And the remodeling going on here, we ensure that the touting level here is curbed to the barest minimum, which will be good for the society at large. No, I don't think they are bringing down businesses. What they are doing here is remodeling. And I believe the development control director here is going to emphasize more on that. But no one is bringing down anybody's business here. They are just remodeling it for efficiency and better sanctity of the environment as a whole.
Some of the traders here disagree with the government officials, describing the action as inhuman.
The action is pathetic. The action is horrible. The action is evil. The action could be considered murdering. They want to kill thousands of people that are eating from this place. Friend, I want to assure you that no one has moved any single property out of this place. There are machines of 100 million, 50 million, 20 million in this complex. And all of them are still here. They are machines of 100 million, sir. We have not moved anything, single thing, and they are collapsing the place. We have responsibilities. We are Nigerians. We are Nigerians. We are not strangers. We are Nigerians. Even if you want to remodel a place, you must make alternative place for the person to stay. They have not made any alternative place. Rather they show us a white canopy, what you can consider an IDP camp.
The UTC market hosts several printing presses in Abuja, and the government believes strongly that it needs a remodeling to meet the growing needs of its occupants. However, the majority of the traders in this market wish that the issue was approached differently in such a way that prevents the losses recorded with the demolition. It is a line the FCTA authorities have tried to navigate for decades as they try to ensure the Abuja Master Plan is adhered to and international best practices applied in the running of markets such as this one, balancing development and safeguarding businesses that cater to the needs of hundreds of families. Ultimately, residents of the nation's capital must bear in mind that the nation's capital has a master plan, and all businesses must be in tandem with that plan. They must also bear in mind that the plan evolves, and whatever investments they have made must be ready for that evolution. My guest on the program is Mr. Hassan Ogbole, the Deputy Director of Monitoring and Inspection, Department of Development Control, FCTA. He gave me a shocker during this interview, one that I think many residents would like to hear, especially if you have a shop in Wuse Market. He tells us a lot of the issues the traders are facing must be sorted with the owners of the complex, the Abuja Investment Company Limited. He claims this demolition is the best thing to happen to that neighborhood and gives a heads up on other markets that could be up for demolition in the nearest future. Please watch this. Mr. Hassan Ogbole, welcome to Dateline Abuja.
Thank you, ma.
You know, UTC is one of the oldest shopping complexes in Abuja. And for people like me who've been in Abuja since the 90s, you know, we saw those demolition notices and things like that. And we actually saw how the place changed over the years. In many ways, a deterioration. But I have a few questions for you as regards this demolition. Let's start with the beginning. Were notices given to the shop owners that a demolition was about to happen?
It wasn't mandatory, but although we did that, because the notices we marked. There was marking on the wall of
How long ago was this notice given?
No, that was about more than a year ago. More than a year ago.
Were there follow-ups?
There were follow-ups. Were licensed between us and Abuja Investment Company Limited. And
what about the leadership of the people that have shops?
We don't get involved.
Okay.
Because
but you put up the notices.
We did.
And you said you did a follow-up.
Beyond the notice that we served on the wall, there were a series of jingles and media, announcements to that effect continuously, on continuous basis. I'm sure up to the day before the operation, those announcements were on the air.
Okay, so let's move on to the temporary site.
Yes, ma'am.
Because you said that was one of the things that you demanded of the company. Mm. This temporary site, a lot of the traders say this site does not have electricity. Many of them told us that they had paid 250,000 naira. They said about 300 of them had paid about 250,000 naira each. But that this new temporary site does not have electricity in particular. Are you aware of this?
That is outside our purview. We're not part of the arrangement. We're not part of that arrangement between the traders and.
But that was one thing that you demanded from the Abuja Investment Company.
We demanded, and we saw it in their submission.
In their submission,
but we didn't supervise the site in terms of requirement.
Did you check to see if what they sent to you in their submission was true?
No, it was a statement they made.
Yes, in the statement, did your office verify that this thing that we require of them is true?
No, we'll have gone beyond our brief.
So the fact that they gave you a statement was enough?
To a large extent. And we saw the pavilion or whatever, the temporary structure in place.
You saw the structure?
We saw it.
Okay, but did you check it to see if it was
good? No, we didn't go to that extent.
Why not?
Well, we felt that we would go too far. We trust the Abuja Investment Company Limited that they will not do anything below standard.
Many of the traders said that there is a case in court halting this movement to the temporary site. Is there any truth to this, and is there an update on that?
I think there's a contradiction here.
Okay.
They agree to the effect that they are going to relocate to a temporary site and even paid for it. And also, for them to say that there's a court case.
Is there a court case?
I'm not aware. I'm not aware. Now, I think what we should now look at is the post-demolition exercise. The Abuja Investment Company Limited, they must have this time schedule for this project. So instead of dragging, they should allow the company to move to ground and actualize this, the desire to have a more befitting business environment. Now, that will go a long way in securing the environment very well, because we don't want to abandon structures or a situation where you leave a land fallow. So long as you leave a fallow, then definitely some, insecurity and criminality will take the space. So the best bet is to see how we will accelerate the pace of redevelopment of that particular plot. That will help. Beyond that, in addition, though there's a police post at that particular location, within the market, it's still there. Maybe they need more men that will patrol around that place 2 to 4 hours. But most importantly is for the construction to start in earnest and finish in earnest equally.
Many people don't quite understand that there's a master plan for the FCT. There's a way things are supposed to be run. There's a way businesses are supposed to be run. There's a way places are supposed to be. Just so people can understand why this is happening. Because I know there'll be more. I know that there are going to be more demolitions that will shock more people.
The case of UTC is even better. We're not dealing with illegal. We're not dealing with squatters or illegal structures. We're dealing with
actual structures.
Yeah, so these are people that have, a status that is recognized and respected. So coming to the issue of the master plan, we're just coming up from Gishiri, Katampi. For the past, this will be our third operation there. Removing squatters, people that are buying land from chiefs and locals.
Talk a bit about these markets in the FCT. What are some of the things that your office is going to be doing in the nearest future to ensure proper organization?
Well, for the master plan, it made provision for markets at every district, from the sector center, the district center, the sector center, neighborhood centers. Beyond that, there are markets provided in the master plan. So if you take Jahi, for example, the Jahi market, like the current Mabushi market, it's a sector, that market serves Jahi, Mabushi, Katampe, and part of, I think. So markets are there. The only thing is slow implementation of the master plan. That's why we're having these makeshift markets, at-home markets here and there. They are not recognized by the master plan, and that's why we're having issues with them. So for markets that are within the master plan, like Area 1, Area 2, the UTC, Wuse is not a market.
Wuse market?
By the master plan, it's a school site. It's a school site. So it's a transit.
Are you going to demolish Wuse market? This one you're not looking at me. Are you going to demolish Wuse market?
I wish.
So that market's supposed to be a school?
So it's a school site.
That explains the bricks. They're those classroom bricks. Those
supposed to be a transit market.
Wow. I did not know that.
Okay, not it, ma.
Okay. So with these markets now, you're going to be working towards proper organization? Are there some that we should be thinking about right now?
Yeah, we should. For removers, I think we say Zone 3. They're on the list. We need to redevelop that neighborhood center. They're on the list. And many others. Maybe Area 2, I'm not too sure. But we'll let you know.
Okay.
Equally let the operators know, the traders know.
Yes, that would be very important.
Yes,
well, you have a lot of work ahead of you.
We are trained for it, man.
Well, there's no problem with that one. Thank you very much, Mr. Hassan, for making out the time to answer a few of our questions. And this is going to be ongoing, You're
welcome, man.
We're going to keep having you over and over.
We want it. We'd like to engage me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thanks to my guest and to everyone who spoke to us today on the program. We've heard since that interview that the renovation work at the UTC Complex in Area 10 is a 2-year project. The temporary site is right beside the complex, so customers can still meet up with sellers within the neighborhood. It is alleged that those refusing to relocate are a few individuals that have engaged in exploiting traders, some of them shop agents. This demolition was necessary. But the FCT authorities are being urged to safeguard already existing businesses while opening up the space to new enterprises. Security in Abuja is a very serious issue, and the FCT administration is doing what it can to prevent these security issues from happening in the first place. One of these methods is the demolishing of illegal structures. especially those known to harbor criminal elements. Some people believe these measures put a divide between the people and government and makes people feel alienated, destroying any sense of belonging necessary to ensure citizen engagement in community development. While this dynamic is navigated by those concerned, please keep yourself safe. That's Dateline Abuja this week. Please let us know the happenings in your neighborhood using the social media handles showing right now on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I am Kayla Magwa. See you next time.